Get ready to enter the vortex. The Anal Retentive Housewife, starring
Today's episode, no more wire hangers.
And welcome to another episode of The Anal Retentive Housewife. My apologies to my viewers who faithfully watch my show. That would be, 0 of you out there. Because I sort of forgot to give this episode before I left, and then I didn't have time because I was on vacation for like 9 days in China, of all places. So anyway, my apologies, and let's get to work about wire hangers. But first, let's talk about how we even got wire hangers into the house to begin with. Because the title of the episode is No More Wire Space Hangers. Little typo in the title. Anyway, the reason wire hangers come into one's house is due to the dry cleaner, of all things. You would think going to an expensive place like the dry cleaner would mean you get expensive stuff, but you get wire hangers, and then since there's a lot of us there who don't like to spend money on hangers, who therefore collect these ones that we get free from the dry cleaners. Some of which are okay to hang on to, but only for specific pre-documented purposes. So, let's talk about going to the dry cleaner first. Before we go, we want to prepare our stuff. And this is to save time while we're at the dry cleaner, because there's always that annoying woman behind you, and generally it is a woman, who thinks that you're taking way too long because you have way too many things, and she's in such a big rush, and it's like, just slow down 10%, and then maybe you can have a nice enjoyable weekend and let the rest of us enjoy our weekends and weekdays as well. So for those of you who are in a rush to the dry cleaner, and if you're behind me, I'm oh so sorry, but at least I come organized and prepared, and I will take less time than anybody with as much stuff as I have. And anyway, just hang on, and don't have such an attitude when you go to the cleaners. Clothes are just not that important in life that you have to make such a big deal about one little teeny tiny stain that they forgot. So, okay, first of all, we make a little list on a lined piece of paper, whatever kind of paper you want, that's fine. Since this is part of my to-do list area, I try to keep the same size and type of paper, at least till I finish a certain series of to-do lists. Otherwise, I have different sizes and shapes of paper, and that confuses me. So, I've already taken out some things for the cleaners, and let's just see how I've organized those. So, first of all, I divide everything into counts of 8, because that's what my dry cleaner writes per ticket. And so this has already been outlined. 5 blouses and 3 skirts. Now, to save space in my car, and also so that people aren't too scared when I show up at the dry cleaner with 10,000 bags, I put a bag inside the bag which has a few other items. And I already have noted the items in this bag as well. Although I only have 5 items in this bag, which means I can add some more to this one, which I shall do shortly. And then I just put this bag inside this bag. And you'll notice that this bag is from like a hotel of some sort. So I save all these bags from the hotels so that I can use them for exactly this kind of errand. They're also good for when you're traveling to unknown destinations. You can just put your stuff in these bags instead of carrying like skanky plastic garbage bags. Okay, so that's dry cleaning. Now, laundering is different. That's like shirts that are cotton, 100% cotton. Usually the only things that work for that, which since laundering is cheaper, is men's business shirts or some women's business shirts. And I counted those and put those in a separate style bag so that I know which is laundry versus dry cleaning. Now then, as far as how to organize them in my closet, what I do is I put everything in a giant plastic, it's like it collapses on itself, it's like a red, just giant laundry basket. And I put anything that's for dry cleaning or for professional laundering in here. And then I could take it out and deal with it. So, and I can just add them to the count. So this is a shirt for laundering. This would look like it is, but it is not 100% cotton. So this is for dry cleaning. And mostly I just tend to just toss these on the floor because, hey, they're getting cleaned anyway. Okay, somebody misfiled this. This goes into the laundry bin in the white basket. There's a lot of misfiling that happens if I am not here to supervise. Okay, so we do have a few more shirts for laundering. And the way you want to do it is you want to pick it up by the collar, make sure that the sleeves are rolled out, and then just kind of, you shake it out a little bit. Also make sure your pockets and things are empty, same as you would if you're putting something in the laundry. Now then, why would you do this? Because it's much easier and they do a much better job ironing stuff and pressing things than I could ever hope to. Plus, I don't have time. And even if I had time, I wouldn't do it because it's way too warm. Okay, so we're going to add to the count 1, 2, 3, 4 more shirts for laundering. So let's see. This is for dry cleaning, so we'll need to make a new sheet. And you want to get a good pen when you make your list. A good solid pen that's thick but not too thick, so it doesn't run through. And you want it to be thick so that you can actually read it when you're in a hurry. I use these calligraphy pens because that way you can write thick and thin. Okay, so we write type of activity, which is errand. And we write the name of the dry cleaner. And, oops, I need to write the name of the launderer. But we'll use that sheet anyway. Okay, so I said I had 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's see how many were already in the bag. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 for laundering. And again, we'll just roll them up and put them back in the bag. Okay, sometimes it's not so easy to get the stuff back in the bag as one would anticipate. I had selected a bag that was slightly too small for what I needed, but it doesn't matter. And we'll just shake it out a little bit to make it look nice and neat. And we'll say 9, and I call them business shirts just so I know it's for laundry. And sometimes I will write if they're half sleeve or full sleeve. I think they're all half sleeve given that the weather's been rather warm lately, so I won't bother with that. And then a lot of dry cleaners and actually a lot of other companies have their coupons right on the internet. So I think I printed some out that are still valid, but I'll need to check that when I get back to the computer. So here it is. Now if I want to use this as a sticky note, I've got that. Or what I like to do is just fold it in half, which gives me the room to write more information if I need to. or it just makes the errand wallet sized. Okay. And the dry cleaners like it if you have all of one kind of item instead of mixing and matching. So in fact, it is good that I started this sheet again for the dry cleaners, because I'm going to write down, like, I'm going to sort out 8 blouses, 8 skirts, and so on. And I try not to give more than a few sheets of stuff at a time, because otherwise they get kind of like, you know, weirded out, like, oh yeah, so much stuff, blah, blah, you know. I guess they're just trying to make conversation, but I'm like, yeah, okay. Let's just keep it moving. So I already had 5 blouses in here, so I'm just going to add 3 more to that. And I think I can do that without too much problem. So 1 and 2 and let's see. Well, I'm wearing the 3rd, so if it was just me, I just toss that in there, but since we're doing a family show, sort of, I'm just going to leave that, but I'm still going to mark the 8 blouses. Okay, so 8 blouses. And you want to use the same terminology that they use, because they'll like say, shirt, so that's not a blouse, that's a shirt. Or they'll use the word slacks instead of pants or trousers or whatever. So try to figure out what terminology they use, and then you can use the same terminology. Helpful hint for the wise out there and the unwise. And then we're going to do skirts. And again, you want to sort of lay it out all flat so that they don't get confused. So I got 5 here, 6. We'll say this is 7. Oh, and I think I have 1 more here. 8. Okay. So, well, remembering to put that in there afterwards, we will go ahead and say 8 skirts. Okay, very good. Now we're going to need to do some bag in a bag type things. So let's see what we have in terms of extra stuff. Okay. So we have 1, 2, let's see, 3 pairs of slacks. So write that down. My dry cleaner says slacks. Okay, and we'll go ahead and put that in the little bag. 3 slacks. 1 sweater. My mother gave this back to me, so I'm not sure if she cleaned it or not, just to be on the safe side. And since I go to the cheap dry cleaner anyway, I just go ahead and get it re-cleaned. 1 sweater. And then I have 2 coats. And they call them coats, not jackets, even though it's a jacket. So, 2 coats. And then I can just see on the floor I have 1 pair of shorts and 1 vest. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. We have 3 sheets of stuff for them. And these laundry bags from the hotels are great because they have a little handle built in. Go ahead and put that to the side. If you have any other dry cleaning, like comforters or bed skirts, that type of stuff, I put that in a separate bag. I take that out separately. And I try to divvy up my dry cleaning because I don't want any one dry cleaner to be overwhelmed with all my stuff. Okay. And so now, again, we fold it, still remembering to look on the other side, but still a wallet size idea. And we can get rid of this. We don't need that anymore. So we'll just toss that in here. Okay. And then sometimes what I'll do with my little, thing I use for dry cleaning is I'll just shake it out just in case there's any dust bunnies and stuff in there. And I keep a supply of extra paper shopping bags underneath here so I can always be ready to go for these cleaners. And that just goes right in here. Okay, now then, let's imagine that we're back from the cleaners, and this is what we get in return once we come back. Is a whole magical selection of plastic, ties, and wire hangers. What to do. Okay. Well, first of all, you'll notice that all these are brown wire hangers, not the blue ones. Laundered shirts come on blue ones, and those are acceptable to keep just a few for travel purposes only. Now, do not ask me why some people like to put their stuff on hangers in their suitcases when they know very well that they'll have hangers at the hotel. But they like to do that. So, to accommodate those people, I keep just a few of those around. But not too many, because you don't want to start a collection. Also, this is all regular dry cleaning, so these hangers are nothing special at all. Sometimes you'll get some good hangers from the cleaners, like especially for sheets or curtains and stuff. And if you want to keep those, that's fine. I really don't recommend it because even those aren't as sturdy as just a plastic hanger, and you can get those 12 for $1. And if you forego your cup of coffee at the coffee shop for $3, you could have 36 new hangers. How about that? Okay, so I just put this on the floor because they're covered in plastic anyway. Although normally I have some sort of chair or something to lay them on, but since my oh so unlovely assistant is not available, I sort of have to move around and do stuff myself, which is as usual or typical even if the tape wasn't running. And I have a small pair of scissors. You want a small pair, not a large pair, so you don't cut through your clothing by accident. And I cut through these ties, like so. Put those aside. And then the easy way to do this is actually, again, since I was smart enough to sort by clothing type, skirt, blouse, pant, when I gave it to them, that's exactly how it comes back to me. Yay! And I can just put that away for recycling. Now, as far as hanger recycling, I know a lot of people want to recycle the hanger. Sometimes that is just not feasible. And in fact, it is more expensive for the cleaner to do that. And let's see, I wonder what they do with the expense of recycling the hanger. That's right, they pass that cost on right back to you, the consumer. So I try if I can, but my cheap cleaner doesn't recycle, so unfortunately I do end up having to put these in the trash. But it is okay because the city of Mountain View did achieve their 53% goal of recycling, or something like that. It was in the spring cleanup guide. Okay, now I have to take these little tags out from each of these items of clothing. That's why I have my little pair of scissors also. So, and I do that first. I do everything, like take all the plastic off, then take all these little doodads off, then I sort and organize. So, this is here. And this makes the trash at least a little more compact if I keep all the different types of trash together. And then sometimes they will hide these little tag things, so you have to find them, because the last thing you want is to be embarrassed when you're at work and you see this little dry cleaning tag hanging out from under your collar. Okay, Sammy just wheezed or something. Sammy. Sammy has a deep breathing. She's like, sometimes it gets a little weird. Sammy. She's looking at me, but she's gonna yak up airball right on the bed. I can sense it now. Anyway, so we'll just go ahead and keep running through these. What I like to do is, the best way to do these is while you're watching TV. Just gives you something to do, keeps your hands busy, and not in your mouth, eating some food or something. And this way you didn't have to iron, you didn't have to do anything. You have to run 1 or 2 extra errands, but hey, come on, they're right next to what you normally, the stores you normally go to anyway. And we were smart, we got our coupons from the internet. Okay, see this one, they put like this. So you have to, sometimes it's not necessarily on the label of your clothing item. Sometimes it's like inside the zipper or underneath the sleeve. I don't know how they decide where it goes, but anyway. And again, just be careful not to cut through the clothing. And usually they do a pretty good job of pressing, but sometimes they forget where like a pleat is, or they'll forget exactly where you press your pants. So you may need to just do a little bit of pressing before you go into work real quick, but most likely not. I've never done that, and of course I did have somebody tell me once that I looked, what did he say, wrinkled or something? And I'm like, well, you look fat or something. So anyway, it's always a comeback. For every person who says something rude to you, you can always say something. Because it's not nice to say somebody looks, oh, he said rumpled. And I'm thinking, yeah, and I can see your like stomach because you're not wearing an undershirt underneath your shirt. Needless to say, I don't work for that person anymore. Yay! And again, we just get rid of the hangers. So it does take a little bit of time because these are sharp. You want to be careful with all your sharp objects. And also, one of the dry cleaners doesn't accept the other dry cleaners' recycling stuff. But if it makes you feel better, they are almost all of them owned by the same national chain, which you will find out if you go to their website. Okay, so let's do the same thing here. And the reason I didn't take the plastic off of these, which I normally like to do first, is because I don't have something that I'm putting them on. They're just kind of getting tossed on the floor right now. And I do like to process these as soon as possible because in my household, if I don't do that, one of the kitties seems to enjoy going to the bathroom on plastic. Yay. So, yeah, she will not have no problem, like, making my dry cleaning not clean anymore. And I know it's kind of gross and stuff, but that's what she does. So that's why I have to get rid of all this stuff as soon as I can and process it as quickly as I can. So there is some pre and post processing to be done, but in the end it's much nicer and it's cleaner. It keeps your clothes preserved longer. And I'll tell you, I've never had a problem. I mean, I've had these clothes for as long as I can, and they keep better if you get them professionally cleaned. So that's why I do it. Because, not like I'm that into my clothes, but as long as I paid for them, I want to keep them as nice and neat as I can for as long as I can. However, if I get a piece of clothing that starts having like some stain in some certain area or something, I will get rid of it. I saw one girl, she had this like beige blouse, and it had like, the pit stains and stuff, and it's really old. And she still got it dry clean. I'm like, girl, buy yourself a new blouse already. That thing looks skanky. And so you're going to wear it under a jacket and never take the jacket off? That doesn't make any sense. Any piece of clothing you buy should be able to stand up, well, sort of, on its own without a jacket, in other words. Or if you buy a pair of pants, you should be able to wear it without the matching jacket and still have it look okay. Just a thought. Anyway, I think I am out of time. Yes, I am. So, I will say, I'm the Anal Retentive Housewife, saying it's not just a show, it's a way of life. Till next time.